What's going on, y'all?
Not much.
This is going to be the most different thing we've ever done.
Right. It's a new departure.
Yes. So last week, Jimmy Carter once said, "Step out on a limb, that's where the fruit's at."
Right. Oh, that's right.
So there you go. So we've stepped out on a limb
Oh, yeah.
because apparently we were trying to get a couple kiwis.
No.
No, we did Miles Davis last week.
Yeah.
So now we're doing the most old school G there is out there.
Right.
We're doing Tchaikovsky's 18th 12th Overture. Right?
Yeah.
So this is the Chicago Symphony Orchestra under the direction of Claudio Abbado. It doesn't say the direction, but that's what you say that an orchestra leader does. He's under the direction of orchestra leader Claudio Abbado.
Right.
The Charlotte Symphony Orchestra. They're doing 18th 12th Overture, which is March Slave, Romeo and Juliet, The Tempest. All of which a kid who's born and raised in Iredell County, North Carolina.
Yeah.
My favorite classical, by the way, I love classical music, is Tchaikovsky's 18th 12th Overture.
Right.
So for Steve to have this,
Well,
maybe you can show your friends this in California when you go here in a few weeks and say that not all rednecks are not learned. Some of us have cultured views, but this is my favorite overture of them all.
Well,
it's well written.
This is one that I got from Ray.
Right.
And then
props to Ray.
Yeah, man.
And Tyler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What's his wife's name? Jolene. Yeah, Jolene. I always do that.
No, like I said, then I just put it in the bag, and then I put it in my collection. And
right.
So we never listened to it.
Right. So I think it's in the same bag as the Tom Petty Greatest Hits.
Yeah.
Which we've never done.
It's in my collection somewhere.
Yeah, it's in the repertoire. You need to find it. So.
Oh yeah.
I know you don't have time. Those 12-hour shifts are brutal, buddy.
Oh yeah. Like
I mean, you're in the groove, but still, you can do it like nobody's business. But still, it's taxing on the body.
Right.
So, I know you said on that third night or the second night, you went to sleep at like 7:30 and it was great.
Oh yeah.
I heard you say, I understand that, dude. Like when you work, and then finally, like on the second or third day of working, you're like, you know what? I got to work in the morning. I'm done eating. I'm out. Took my shower. I'm out.
Oh yeah.
Lay down and you're asleep by like 8 o'clock. That's
7:30.
Yeah, 7:30, 8 o'clock. That's great.
Well, that's right.
Man, yeah.
7:30. Then wake up like at 4.
Right, you got to get up at 4. So.
Well, the alarm's set for 4:30.
Right.
But for some reason, I wake up.
Right.
I don't know, but
I'm like that. I'm like that. I can set my alarm for 5:30, and at 5:30 or at 5 o'clock, sometimes 4:45. I'm up and don't know why. And I check the clock and it'd be like 5 to 5, something like that. I'm like, man, I got it set for 5:30, and you can't go back to sleep for nothing. So.
Did you notice today? They're paving roads.
Yes. I did notice that. Because like I had Kilo's collars gone, and I had him outside at like. Honestly, at like 5 o'clock this morning, a little after, or it was after 5, I had Daisy out first and then Kilo. And then Kilo didn't have a collar on. And honestly, some of the construction people were starting to pull up in their dualies early that morning. Like guys that are going over stuff because they got the dome lights on.
Oh, yeah.
One's going to, and they're reading plans and shit. So, yeah. Here we go. Everybody knows this.
Oh, for sure.
I love it.
Oh,
and it picks up from here, dude.
Oh, yeah. So now, we need to open up another Uncle Ed and Steve show category, jazz, classical,
jazz,
rock and roll.
And see, I can just imagine July 4th as a kid. Even though this would be in the repertoire of the dun-dun-dun, like dun-dun, and then when they get to the crescendo and the rockets are going off, you got rockets going off, just like in the Old Glory, the rockets red and glare,
I would have never done thought that this redneck knew about.
I love it. This is my favorite overture of them all, dude. Yeah. So, yeah.
I hear you, man. Yeah.
Because I remember one time my dad come through and he told Mom, he's like, you know what, I was failing in everything in school.
Yep.
But I had a little bit of some kind of Arabic, Hebrew type thing that was reading and studying. And it was on a book. Based upon Homer's whatever, and then I was reading part of that, which is mythology, along with my religion. but yet I'm trying to dip snuff, and I'm listening to classical music, which was this or the Bach. I didn't like Bach. That's like, he's such an oxymoron. He's such a redneck. But he's listening to classical music, reading poetry on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Listening to like some kind of classical, almost dead Latin, pig Latin, Yiddish type language. Makes no sense. He said he can't spell, but he knows either Greek, Hebrew, or Aramaic of any word you want in the Old Testament. Didn't do me any good.
Oh, man.
Well, it did. I got good morals.
Yeah.
I had tried to have good morals. Some people would say I don't have any morals. Some people look at me like I'm Charles Manson. I love this part here.
Right. Oh, yeah.
It's always so whimsical. It reminds me of the merry-go-rounds that were in the public walkway in D.C. when you're going down the lawn and you go past the Lincoln Memorial and the pondering pool, whatever they call it, and whatever, and you walk by the orchards that blossom, the cherry blossoms in the springtime, and you're walking down the main thoroughfare. They always had this big in between, like there and like what Bill, I guess the Smithsonian would have been on the right hand side, I think.
Right.
And they had the great big merry-go-round that you could visit and stuff, and it would always remind me of this type of music. They'd be playing something of like of a Tchaikovsky's Overture, especially for 1812.
Right.
It's whimsical, and you're floating, and you're going around. You know,
Oh, yeah.
we did it in Myrtle Beach and some other places, but there's nothing as historic as in being like Albany, doing it in a park somewhere there, or at like Washington D.C. and the National Mall, they call it.
Right.
You know, so it's where they have. It's where, you know, Martin Luther King did his greatest speech, and just all kinds of things like which we were in D.C. actually. I just saw where they celebrated, I forget how many years now, for the Vietnam Memorial.
Yes.
And my dad took us when they laid the first brick, and then he took us to when it was completed, because we would go every year to visit my grandpa Rollis up there, because they live right outside in Virginia, because he worked for the government, and so he worked right there outside of D.C.
Right.
And of course, basically, it's always the same place.
Oh, yeah.
D.C., Washington. So.
Yeah.
And we went there. We went there one year for the inauguration. They live right in the heart of D.C. We lived in an apartment. My grandpa and Helen, his second or third wife. So yeah, because that's where we had to wear our yarmulkes to the when he got married, because they were Jewish. So I wore my yarmulkes over to there. Oh yeah, I missed it. And then when he passed, that's when the redneck like me that likes Tchaikovsky, we went to the Italian American Club in Albany, New York.
Right. Oh wow.
For my grandpa's wake.
Right.
And it was, Dad said it was his godfather that did this basically.
Really?
And his godfather was really in the what you call it, right?
Yeah.
And he owned the Italian American Club there, so he hosted my grandpa's funeral. So you wouldn't know that from me.
Well, he caught a break on
Oh
that.
yeah. He's like no problem, Wayne. Of course, you had your choice of chicken, veal parmesan, whatever to eat. So I'll never forget the priest who did my grandpa's funeral right there, because we were at the memorial there in New York for the it's almost like a Arlington National Cemetery. So when we reburied him there, reburied him there, like the at the end of it, when we were back in Albany, the priest comes out after the wake, and he's not in this outfit anymore, because we're at the eating part of it. But he's in a canary yellow suit,
there you go.
and he's pumping the beer keg all night. And by the time he leaves, he had two people beside him to help him. They were going to drive him home because the priest was soused, dude, at the end of my grandpa's funeral. Like, he was wasted, dude. They said that my grandpa, my grandma remarried too. Irene married my grandpa when D.C. She moved here, so then she met Captain, right?
Right.
And so he went to South Point, by the way, and he was a graduate there.
Right.
At what do they call it? West Point, I mean, South Point.
I'm thinking,
West Point. Yeah, guess where he got Captain from.
Right.
Yeah, and he's the one who did the RCA and the TVs and stuff.
Right.
So I had the best. I had one. My dad's father worked for the government. Extremely intelligent man, computers and stuff like that. Like in the nuclear warheads could program like computer chips stuff. My dad gets honest. Chris gets honest. I gave him cut a fucking computer on, but they get it honest. Like,
are you serious?
Exactly right. And we're upgrading, guys. Watch the all I can say is this. Same old format, same old view, except the view is going to be wider, and the filter will be just like it's daytime here. Even without that light, we can adjust it. Because we're getting the tablet. Yes.
You'll see more of it.
Yes. It's gonna be a wider fish eye view.
I better paint the place.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I could just turn it one way or another and do a panoramic. We're not gonna do all that. So
just leave it like it is.
No. We're recording with the new tablet. I'm just hitting that. It's not gonna be. No, it's not that much wider, Steve. It's only like that.
Right.
Like this much wider outside of that.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But
So.
we need to list this one under.
And it's going to have its own stand.
No, but this episode right here is like our first classical music episode.
Just like
so it should be in another category.
Oh yeah, just like I said.
Just like when the
jazz number one.
Right. This be classical number one.
Classical number one. Yeah.
And this is and we'll go from there.
Oh yeah.
But good grief, I sure do miss that gal Laura.
Oh yeah.
Big Hat Larry's.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But it's still loaded. I'm hoping that, who's paying the rent right now?
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. Who's footing the bill for that place?
Right.
Because nothing's changed in there.
I know it.
And it's just so endearing.
I know.
Why does something happen? So,
I know.
Like, she's such an endearing person. Like, musically. Like, you don't meet people. It's hard. Anybody can meet other human beings, but to meet another person that is your friend that you gel with musically, that's hard. That's a hard combo to meet. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Because even family don't agree on musically. Most of the time.
Right.
So when you actually meet somebody else who has the same likeness that you like music wise, that can recommend something new to you that you didn't know about and you actually like it, hey, that's the kind of friend I want to keep. And she was like that. So meanwhile, back at the ranch.
I know.
Oh no, here you go,
No, Tramp is coming home with something in his mouth.
Walking
past.
Yeah, I almost feel like I need to walk in here with Chad and say, Mr. Wabbit, Mr. Wabbit, Mr. Wabbit. You know what I'm saying? Listen, somebody asked me, does that count as watching the classical music lately?
Yeah.
And they said, Mr. Wabbit, I said, does that count? That's 6 minutes long.
Oh, yeah, man. But then it's like I say, and I haven't heard this stuff in a long time.
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to be, even at the Charlotte Symphony Orchestra, and see them do this. But, by the way, this was what, the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, I think it said? Yeah, Chicago sent by Alexi Claudio Abato. And he's doing your uplifting with the stick like, I'm going to whoop your ass later on. Oboe player, your ass is mine. He looks back over there at the lead chair and violins, and like all of y'all, I'm putting my foot up at your ass later on. Missed that note again. Your vibrato better be right. Because some of these directors can play anything that you put from them. They will show you the note to hit and then hand you your instrument back. And then stand back up and direct. That's the ones you give homage to. And a guy looks at an oboe player or a lead cellist or a lead French horn or a triple solo like oboe type. It's just like 23 pounds of metal, blowing through these tubes, and he can teach it. So it's amazing, man.
Oh yeah. The cello player.
Oh yeah. They showed on. It was in Rolling Stone Record Guide where they showed. I'm not Record Guide, but the Rolling Stone magazine where they showed what a lady had made, and it was also on their internet update. I love it. I feel like I ought to be charging in my uniform, I've got, you know what? I've got what's his name? Theodore Roosevelt behind us. I'm in the what do you call them? No. I'll think of it in a second.
Spanish American.
No. He called them. He was his troop of guys. I'll think of it in a minute. He would say, "Mountie up." I'll think of it in a second. Here we go. I'll think of it. Oh my God! You know what I'm talking about, Theodore Roosevelt.
Yes.
And he always had the group.
Boy from
No.
Cavalry.
Yeah, but it was the name of his cavalry. It was a certain name.
Well, Colonel Potter wrote
because hip hop adopted it. There was a group in the they called
the way that on the show TV show MASH, Colonel Potter. We're gonna take a break right quick. You'll be fine, yeah.